my guest right now is Kevin Helmhold.
That's correct.
And you are the author of a book called Echoes of Torment, and it looks like it's all about Las Vegas.
Yeah, most of the story takes place in Las Vegas. It starts out in Chicago, but it moves pretty quickly to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. And what's the story about?
Well, it's the story of a career firefighter from Chicago who opts for early retirement, not wanting to admit that he's suffering the effects of post-traumatic stress, even though he's been having visions and flashbacks of the traumas that have occurred over the course of his career. An avid poker player, he just wants to get away from it all. With his wife, he moves out to Las Vegas to start a new life. Takes a job dealing poker, but almost as soon as he gets out there, he uncovers a cheating team and finds his life being threatened by members of Russian organized crime.
And do you have a website at all where people can get information about Echoes of Torment?
Yeah, the website is it's simply my name, www.kevinhelmhold.com.
So it's Kevin Helmhold, HELMOLD.com, no space in between it, and obviously they can go on your website and buy copies of the book?
They can do that, yeah. The book's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon. I've been selling a lot of books through Amazon too. And of course, any of the stores will order for you. If you go into Borders and Independents, a lot of the independents out in the Chicago area are carrying the book as well.
Now, are you a former firefighter yourself?
I'm still too young to be a former firefighter.
Oh, okay.
I'm still a fireman in Chicago. I work in the Englewood neighborhood.
Tremendous. And that's tough. That's not an easy job. People take firemen for granted sometimes like that. Is this your first book?
This is my first book, yes, and it's been well received. It's a character-driven story. I wrote it so that the people would feel attached to the characters, and apparently I've been successful in that because the publisher has asked me for a sequel, and I've just started writing the sequel this week. Tremendous.
Congratulations, and everybody out there, you want to check out the book Echoes of Torment by Kevin Helmhold. Did I get that correct? All right, and I think you'll enjoy it, and we'll get to our next author in a couple seconds here. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate it. You're welcome. We're here with George Kulles, and you have a new book called Wheel of God. George, tell us exactly what the book is about.
The book takes place in Venice in the 1720s. Venice was called the Bride of the Sea then because, of course, it was an island surrounded by water. And it had fallen, the Bride of the Sea had fallen on hard times because her trade was lost to the Portuguese explorers who found the way around to the east, to the riches of the east, and also her lands in the eastern Mediterranean were being occupied by the Ottoman Turks, so that her treasury really had sunk into a new low. But there were people in Venice, the nobility, who were still living on the accumulated treasures of their ancestors. And so they were leading a life of decadence. They enjoyed
all kinds
carnivals and festivals.
The benefits
and,
of decadence.
You know, all of those things.
Well, George, tell me, let me ask you a question. Yeah. When was this book published?
It just came out in June. I was fortunate enough to have it arrive at the book fair downtown, the publisher's book fair.
And why this topic? What drew you into this subject?
My wife and I made a trip to Europe, and we had 8 weeks there, and we enjoyed ourselves. But when we went to Venice, we were just awestruck at the beauty of the place. The fact that it's the same way that it was in the 1700s, the 1600s, and the 1800s.
And George, tell us a little bit. You got a couple other books
here.
Yes,
this is a hobby of mine.
Start with Imperial Paperweights. What is that about?
This is a story about 3 paperweights, the most famous paperweights in the world, that were taken to Sotheby's for auction, and they were lost or stolen. And a young lady who was one of the directors of Sotheby's traces them back by going back into their history and finding out that they were owned by important people who collected paperweights, like Evita Peron and Truman Capote and Oscar Wilde and people like that.
And you got a couple others, so they look like they have a lot to do with antiques. You got one here called Identifying Antique Paperweights.
Well, when I got into paperweights, when I got into paperweights, I discovered that there was nothing written about being able to identify the antiques.
Right.
So I took it upon myself to make a study, and I have these 3 books were published by.
Go ahead.
Yeah, published by a person who deals in antiques on the West Coast and publishes books on antiques.
And then you have Millefiori. What is that?
Millefiori, those are these little things that you see in here, these little round things. See them? It comes from the Italian meaning 1,000 flowers. When you put a lot of them together, they look like a garden of flowers.
And is that like they put them in glass like
yes,
that?
Yes, they're embedded in glass. They're made of glass. Everything you see in here is glass. And they're embedded in the glass.
And then your other one is the less familiar.
Yes, the 5 main factories that made paperweights during the 19th century were Baccarat, Clichy, Saint Louis, and 2 in New England Glass and Sandwich. But there were 19 others that most collectors don't know too much about. So I researched those and put those in the book.
George, where are you from?
I'm from Homer Glen.
Great, George, thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking with you. Good luck with your book. It sounds really fascinating, all of them.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
And now my guest is Helen Osterman, who is the author of Accidental Sleuth. How are you, Helen?
I'm fine,
Thank you so much for coming today at the Orland Book Fair. Tell us about your book, The Accidental Sleuth. What is it about?
Well, it's a cozy mystery,
Uh-huh.
and my protagonist is in her 60s, so she would appeal to people 50 and over.
Uh-huh.
And she has a sixth sense, which usually she finds trouble, and her guardian angel sometimes keeps her out of trouble. So you can see the guardian angel on the poster, and the angel is not always on track.
Now, is this Emma's guardian angel?
Yes, it is
All right.
Emma's guardian angel.
And you've gotten some good reviews. Delightful, sometimes humorous, cozy. Emma is strong, independent, and willing to help others. It sounds like they did a nice little review of your book. Yeah, where is the book available?
It's available online on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and Borders has copies, and I have copies.
And do you have a website at all?
Yes,
What's your website?
www.helenosterman.com.
So helenosterman.com, one word, no space between the
space,
names.
one word.
And they can order it online also, or
They can
just get
order it from
information?
Amazon.
They can, Amazon.com. Or
BarnesandNoble.com.
Barnes & Noble.
And
Is this your first book?
it's the first one that's good.
Well, I'm sure you've written. Now, what do you do professionally? Are you professionally an
I'm a
author?
retired registered nurse.
Okay. Wow. So, and now you've just gotten into writing? Have you always wanted to write?
I've always written. I wrote my first story when I was 8 years old, and it was terrible. It was absolutely
There's no such thing as a terrible story when you're 8 years old. I have a 6-year-old, and I can't believe how much he likes to talk, and I'm hoping he'll get into writing just like me, but writing is fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's an addiction.
And do you have another project?
I'm also an artist.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I paint in oils, but lately I've been so busy promoting this book that I haven't had much time to paint.
All right, my guest, Helen Osterman, her book is The Accidental Sleuth. You can go to HelenOsterman.com for more information, or you can go to Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble to purchase the book. My guest is Melissa Fraterrigo. Now, Melissa, you have a book called The Longest Pregnancy. What is the book about?
It's a collection of short stories about women with fantastical powers solving everyday heartaches, trials, and conflicts. For instance, in the title story, The Longest Pregnancy, a woman is pregnant for 6 years straight.
Wow.
The closing story, The Strongest Woman in the World, follows just that. The woman who's the strongest woman in the world and is unable to find a date and have any social success.
And how many essays are in the book?
Stories.
How many stories?
There are 14 stories.
14 stories. Do they all have the same theme?
For the most part, they follow female protagonists.
Okay.
But they vary in plot and in character and in point of view and who's telling the story.
And Melissa, where are you from originally?
I grew up in Lansing, Illinois.
And are you a local Southwest suburban author?
I currently live in Evergreen Park.
You do. And how long have you been writing? Long time?
Probably almost 10 years.
All your life. I've been writing since I was first learned how to pick up a pen. Of course, that's just a setup
It's a
joke.
complicated question because you think about, when you're 4 years old and the only word you know is cat, but you write that word again and again, trying to write a book.
And when did this book come out?
This book came out last year in 2006.
Okay. And do you have any other books?
I do not. I'm currently working on my first novel.
Oh, you are? Great. And can you give us a sneak peek, or you want to wait till you're ready?
I think I'll hold off.
Okay. And do you have a website at all?
I do.
What's your website?
It's my name, melissafrederigo.com.
Your book is called The Longest Pregnancy. It's a collection of stories. Melissa, thank you so much. Good luck with your book. It was
Thanks so
great
much.
talking with
Appreciate
you.
it. Good to
You're
talk to
welcome.
you as well.
We're here with Norm Cowie. He's the author of 2 books. One of them is called The Adventures of Guy, and the other one is a sequel called The Next Adventures of Guy, and you have both books here at the Orland Park Authors Fair. Norm, tell me about the book first. The first one, The Adventures of Guy.
Ridiculous. The books are nothing but fun. I pick on everything that ever bothered me in my life, and I threw it all into a humorous book where if somebody ever did anything to me, they're going to be in here, but it's purely a work of fiction, so if you recognize yourself, it's not you.
And then the second one is a continuation of harassing people who harassed you.
Absolutely. You know, the first one, it's attorneys and telemarketers are my primary source of fun. The second book, I go after big oil. Those guys are the bad guys in this one here. So.
They're always good to pick on. I love picking on big oil. And now it sounds like you got a great sense of humor. There's a lot of humor in your book.
Oh, absolutely. Any page, you open it up, and there's lots of exclamation points, so you know it's got a lot of excitement.
Now, what got you into writing? What moved you to kind of write these? Have you written other books before?
I'm a columnist.
Okay.
I write a regular column for a business credit magazine, and there's a lot of humor in it, and people actually read it. I make fun of attorneys. I call them poo-poo heads and weasels and things.
I think those are great adjectives for attorneys.
And they can't sue me unless I name them individually. So, and if they do sue me, then my publisher would love it, because then I get a lot more publicity out of it. You know, everybody come out and
if they're in public life, they can't sue you at all. So don't worry about it.
I'm pretty safe in calling them names.
That's good. And so you've been writing, so that you decided to bring some of those stories together.
Well, what really happened was when I wrote that. At one point, there was a guy that wrote me an email saying you've crossed the line into disrespecting attorneys.
Oh.
So the next article I wrote an article called "The Mock Trial Norm Cowie for Slander and Libel, Calling Attorneys Poo-Poo Heads." And this one I got like hundreds of emails from people saying, "That was great, do it again."
That's great. All right, I love it.
So I decided to write a book where attorneys and telemarketers are the bad guys.
Now, Norm, where can people get information or buy your books? Are they available in stores, on your website?
Yes,
Where?
It's available anywhere, really.
Okay.
But the best place to go, if you go to my website, www.normcowie.com.
One word, Norm Cowie.
Norm Cowie, Cowie.
Okay.
And if you go there, you can check in excerpts of the books and see what they look like, see that they're as funny as what I claim they are. And but otherwise, it's available at most bookstores.
All right, Norm Cowie, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Great publicity. I'll take it. Thank you.
I'm with Julie Heisey, who is the author of what looks like several books, Deadly Interest, Deadly Blessings, Artistic License, State of the Onion. That one, being a political reporter, food and politics really is exciting to me. Hi, Julie, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Tell me a little bit about all the different books that you do. How many books have you published?
Right now, I have my third one out, Deadly Interest. State of the Onion won't be out till January.
Okay.
That's the new one. I have Artistic License, which was my first. It was romantic suspense. And then I started, and it's a standalone. When they're done, they're done.
Right.
Deadly Blessing started my series featuring Alex St. James, who's a reporter in downtown Chicago.
Love reporters.
Yes, and she has a lot of fun. She gets in a little over her head, but rises to the challenge, of course. And her adventures continue with deadly interest.
Okay. And how many books total do you have?
Right now, 3, fourth one coming out in January.
Okay. And do you have what got you into journalism? I mean, book authoring. What started you in that?
I have been writing since I was a little kid. I used to read Nancy Drew books, and I thought that if I wrote my own Nancy Drew books, but called Mary King Mystery Stories, I'd be able to get published by the time I was 11. Didn't happen.
All right. And do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
What is your website?
Recently redesigned, as of today.
Okay.
www.juliehyzny.com.
You're from the Chicago area?
Yeah, Tinley Park.
And you're from Tinley Park? That's great. So many authors that live out here in the southwest suburbs and southwest area.
A great group of authors, great culture out here.
Any final thoughts you want to just tell everybody about your books?
I would love for you to read them, whether it's at the library, from the bookstore, or email me.
And they can get them at any bookstore?
They can get State of the Onion at any bookstore.
Okay.
These other ones usually have to be ordered because they've been out.
Okay, and can they get those off your website?
Yes, absolutely, or Amazon.com. They're all available on Amazon.
All right, Julie Heisey, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
JulieHeisey.com, local author, you want to pick up her books.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Sherry Scarpaci, who has a book out called Lullaby. Sherry, welcome. Thank you so much for doing the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
What is Lullaby all about?
In a nutshell, it's a kidnapping of a baby. Ex-cop turned investigative reporter. The child is abducted, no trace of him, and it's her son.
So all these little things that kind of like convey the atmosphere that you're offering in the book and everything about a child. It must be a tough topic to write about, but people love crime novels.
Yes.
And how long has the book been out?
It's actually not out yet. It's the official publication date is the 19th of September, so it's technically not out yet.
Well, that's okay. We'll be looking for it.
Copies from the publisher.
That's great. And so the book will be out on the 19th of September. By the time we get on the air, it'll be out, and they can get it at their local bookstores.
They should be, if it's not on the shelf, they should be able to have the bookseller order it. You can go to Amazon. I believe it's even discounted right now.
Okay. And
or you can go to my website, and there's a link to go to Amazon.
what is your website?
www.sherryscarpaci.com.
Okay, and let me just let everybody look at the last name there. It's Sherry Scarpaci, SCARPACI.com. One word, no space and everything. Is this your first book?
First book.
And what got you into writing books?
Well, I always loved to read, and I actually went back to school about 20 years ago and had a wonderful teacher who encouraged me to write. She said, I think you can do this. Her name was Pat McKeague, and this was Moraine Valley Community College. And
so you're a graduate of, you attended Moraine. You attended Moraine, right? Me too.
She encouraged me. And,
we're both alumni. I went to Moraine also before I went to Northern, so I love Moraine. It's a great college.
I love it, yeah.
Do you have plans to write another book?
I've got one in the works right now.
You do. Congratulations. Sherry, thank you so much for joining us. Remember your webpage for everybody if you want to get the book, Lullaby by Sherry Scarpaci, is sherryscarpaci.com, and we'll have it right on the screen for everybody to see. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Thank you.
I'm here with Stephen Mandel, who is the author of Another Lost Angel. Stephen, welcome to the Orland Book Fair. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Tell us, what is your book about?
My book is about, it's about a Chicago cop, police detective, who is, essentially he's corrupt. He works for the mob, and he's basically just into a groove where he just does what he's told. He has tragedy in his life. He's lost his wife, he's lost his son, and now he's basically just drifting. He's has no direction. He just doesn't care anymore.
And when did you write the book?
I wrote the book about 3 years ago. Okay. And it was published in May 2006 by 5 Star.
Okay. And is this your first book? Or
this is my first book.
Do you have any other books coming out?
I'm hoping to have my next book out in 2008.
Is it also another similar crime drama, or?
It's a crime novel, but it's really not. It's not a sequel or anything like that.
Okay.
It's, I do have a series that I'm working on about an ongoing character, but right now the next one will be a standalone.
Well, how did you get into writing? What moved you to write a book?
Well, I'm an avid reader. I've always liked to read, and when I graduated college, I kind of rediscovered my passion for reading and crime fiction. I started reading a guy, his name is Eugene Izzy. He was a Chicago author, and he inspired me. I loved the material. I loved just the grittiness and the guts of his writing. And I thought, you know what, I could do that too. And I had some stories, I had some ideas that I've been kicking around my head for a long time. And I decided to put pen down to paper. And my first book that I wrote really wasn't publishable, but it was good enough.
Experience,
it was
though,
good
wasn't
experience, and it got me some good feedback from some published authors.
Okay.
And it spurred me on to try again until I don't want to say perfected it, but got a lot better at my craft where I can. Finally I sat down to write this, and it really, I don't want to say you ever stop learning, because there's always something you can learn about writing. You can always improve yourself, but those earlier books that I wrote, really, they were springboards.
Okay.
It really taught me the right way and the wrong way to write a book.
Okay.
And
do you have a web page where people could get information at all? Or?
I do. It's
what is it?
www.stevemandelbooks.com.
Is the book in bookstores now?
It is in bookstores. They can order it from BarnesandNoble.com, Borders.com, Amazon.com.
Great.
You can find it in bookstores. It's one with your smaller publisher. It's a little bit harder to get into bookstores, but it's out there.
It's a great cover. I think it looks beautiful. And are you from the southwest suburbs?
No, actually, I'm more a north sider.
All right, that's all right.
I'm a south sider by marriage.
This show goes all over Chicago.
No, actually, my wife's family is from Mount Greenwood. So,
all right, well, that's a powerful community with a lot of clouds.
Yes, and I do live right now. I live out west.
All right,
but
Stephen,
I'm a Sox fan though.
All right, well, I'm a Cubs fan. Now you're done. No, I'm just joking. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us here at the Orland Author Fair.
Okay,
talk to you later. All right, I'm here with Michael Black, who is the author of a number of books here, Final Judgment, Melody of Vengeance, Windy City Nights, The Heist. Michael, thank you for joining us on our show.
My pleasure, Ray.
Which one is your first book?
Actually, my first novel was Killing Frost.
The Killing Frost.
It'll be coming out in paperback on October 2nd.
Okay.
At stores everywhere.
When was it first published?
It was first published in 2002.
Okay.
It was the first in a series featuring a private detective named Ron Shane. He's featured in Windy City Nights. That's the second book in the series. And then the third book in the series, The Final Judgment.
Wow.
This one came out last year.
Now, are these mystery novels, crime novels?
Right, they're mystery, crime. These two are standalone novels, The Heist and Frequent Tender. They're more thrillers and mysteries.
And how long have you been writing?
I wrote my first short story when I was in 6th grade.
Wow, so you've been an author, writer all your life?
I've been a writer all my life. I've just been a published writer.
But you love being a writer, and then finally it looks like you got your dream, and you've done very well. A total, I see 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 books?
Actually, I had 6 novels and I had 2 nonfiction books.
2 nonfiction books. And which is the latest one that just came out?
I would have to say this Melody of Vengeance is the latest one.
And what is that one about?
It's an homage to the old pulp magazines. I designed it to create a noir cover. My
great stuff.
friend is a commercial artist. He did the cover for me, and he also did illustrations inside the book.
Now, is your friend doing all the covers, or because your cover art is great on all the books?
The cover art is I'm very fortunate. No, he just did this one. He was able to do this one because he had the painting. The others, the book companies do those.
And do you have a web page, Michael?
I do. www.michaelablake.com.
And are these books available in bookstores?
They're available on bookstores and Amazon. If you go to my website, you can click on the image of the book. It'll take you directly to Amazon.
Great.
If you're interested in purchasing them.
That sounds great. Michael, thank you so much. And now we're here with author Linda Mickey. She has a number of books, Greased Wheels, Horsepower, Defective. Linda, tell us about, which one was your first book?
Greased Wheels was the
Greased
first
Wheels.
of the series.
And what was it about?
Greased Wheels is about, shall we say, political nefariousness.
Love it. We all love political nefariousness. It's a very popular thing. And then Horsepower, that's a mystery?
They're all mysteries.
Okay.
It's a continuing character. And Horsepower is the third in the series.
Is that Kyle Shannon? Is
Kyle
that the
Shannon is the character.
Okay.
She's an amateur sleuth. She's an office temporary worker.
Okay.
And goes from place to place. The first two adventures, Greased Wheels and Defective Goods, she's in corporate America.
Okay.
In Horsepower, a businessman hires her to go to a stable he owns and help put those books in order.
Okay. And where can people go to get information about your books? You have a website?
Absolutely, www.lindamickey.com.
Are the books available at any of the bookstores, online, or?
All the books are available by order through bookstores.
Okay.
They are also all available at every online bookstore.
Great, like Amazon, Borders, Barnes & Noble. And can they order them off your website too, or you can get information on the website?
There are click-throughs on the
Got
website.
it. Linda, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us. It's just phenomenal. This is a great opportunity
Thank you very
for everybody
much.
to meet the author. So thank you again, Linda. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Now I'm with author Sandra Tatara. She has a book called Remember Me. Sandra, when did your book come out?
May 15th.
May 15th? And is this your first book?
Yes, it is.
What's it about?
It's a love story about two people who meet at a boarding park when they board their horses. Danny Monroe is in a crisis in her life, and she meets Ray Cowie.
Do you have a website where people can get information about you and your book?
Yes.
What is it?
www.sandratutera.com.
Do you have any other books, or are you planning more books?
Yes, I'm writing a mystery thriller now. I've had short stories published, but this is my first novel.
It's your first, and how are things going with it?
Very well. It sold out the first printing in 2 weeks.
Wow,
and
that's
it's in the
tremendous.
third printing now.
Congratulations. So Sandra Tatara, Remember Me, remember her book.
Right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Sandra. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray.
And our final author is Dave Case here at the Orland Authors Fair. Dave, how are you? Your book is called Out of Cabrini.
That's
a
correct.
Macbeth novel. When did you write this?
Actually, I wrote it in, I believe it was 1996. And it was published published after about 8 years of trying to sell it. And so it's been polished really well.
So you wrote it and you tried to sell it through a regular publisher, or did you publish it yourself?
No, I didn't publish it myself, but I stuck with New York, and I was trying to find an agent. And
so you just stuck it out and you were persistent.
I stuck it out and I was persistent, which I think is one of the most important aspects for a successful writer to have, is being persistent.
And I'm assuming it's about Cabrini Green.
Yes, it is.
It's a backdrop, is Cabrini Green.
Absolutely.
Jane Byrne, maybe?
No, not Jane Byrne. Actually, I don't really go into the current administration at all.
No politics? Just
no politics,
crime mystery?
Just crime suspense novel.
All right. And have you written any other books?
I'm currently, after taking an 8-month or 9-month hiatus from studying for lieutenant, I am currently writing a sequel for this.
And you're in the Chicago Police Department?
Yes, I am. I'm a sergeant in Chicago.
Congratulations.
Well,
That's
thank
great.
you very much.
Listen, and do you have a web page where people can
Yes,
get
I do.
information? What is it?
My web page is www.davecasebooks.
Dave Case Books, one word, no hyphen.
Correct.
Dave, thank you so much here. The book is called Out of Cabrini. You want to try and get it. We love Chicago police officers. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.